Silver Thur-liner to the edge of the world. Tonight, we leave the noise behind. We are heading north, past the reach of the highways, where the map starts to fade into a soft, endless white. You're standing on the platform in Seattle, at the old King Street station. The air is crisp, smelling of sea salt and the first hint of an early winter. Most travelers are rushing toward the light rail, eyes glued to their phones, but you are looking for the Silver Thur-liner. The train is waiting. It's a classic, stainless steel beast, polished until it reflects the amber glow of the station lamps. It looks like a relic from a more patient time. You step aboard, and the heavy door thuds shut behind you, sealing out the damp chill of the Pacific Northwest. Inside, the carpet is a deep, comforting forest green, thick enough to swallow the sound of your footsteps. A porter, an older man with silver hair and a kind, weathered face, nods to you. Northbound? He asks, his voice like warm honey. You picked a good night for it. The mountains are quiet. You find your sleeper car. It's your own private sanctuary. A small wood-paneled room with a wide, panoramic window. On the seat, there's a heavy wool blanket, woven in shades of slate and cream. You sit down, leaning your head against the cool glass, and wait. Then, the first movement. It's not a jolt, but a gentle, rhythmic tug. The station begins to slide away. The city lights of Seattle start to blur into long, neon streaks, ruby red, electric blue, and gold, reflecting off the puddles on the tracks. Slowly, the hum of the city is replaced by the steady, click-clack, of the rails. As the train gains speed, you move through the sleepy outskirts. You see a lone car at a crossing, its blinker rhythmic and patient, tick, tick, tick. The driver is just a silhouette, watching the Silver Thur-liner pass like a ghost in the night. You wonder where they're going, but then, the train curves, and the car vanishes into the dark. An hour passes. Maybe two. Time doesn't seem to work the same way up here. You decide to wander down to the observation car. It's nearly empty. The ceiling is made of glass, revealing a sky so dark and vast it feels like you could fall upward into it. You find a swivel chair and turn it toward the window. We are deep in the Cascades now. Giant Douglas firs stand like silent sentinels, their branches heavy with a fresh dusting of snow. Every so often, the train's headlight sweeps across the woods, catching the silver flash of a frozen creek or the glowing eyes of a deer, standing perfectly still, watching you pass. There is no Wi-Fi here. No signal. Just the engine's low, vibrating purr, felt more in your chest than heard in your ears. You walk to the dining car, where a single lamp glows at a corner table. A waitress brings you a mug of cider, steam curling lazily into the dim light. It tastes of cinnamon and cloves. We'll be crossing the border into the high country soon, she whispers, as if not to wake the mountains. The stars get bigger up there. You return to your compartment. The porter has already turned down your bed. The sheets are crisp, cool, and smell of lavender. You climb in, pulling the wool blanket up to your chin. The train is climbing now. You can feel the engine working harder, a deep, rhythmic breathing. Hoo, H-A-A, hoo, H-A-A. You reach out and slide the shade up just an inch. Outside, the world is monochrome. A moonscape of granite peaks and shadows. The moonlight hits the snow, making it glow with a soft, ethereal blue. You are the only person awake in this rolling metal cocoon. You feel a strange, beautiful sense of gratitude. For the engineer, miles ahead in the dark, watching the rails. For the tracks, laid down 100 years ago by hands you'll never know. The rhythm of the train begins to slow, becoming a lullaby. Click-clack. Click-clack. The world outside is vast, cold, and wild, but in here, you are warm. You are safe. You are moving toward the edge of the world, and there is nowhere else you need to be. Your eyes grow heavy. The silver moonlight dances on the wood panels of your room. Micropause. Close your eyes now. Let the Silver Thur-liner carry you into the deep, quiet dark. Good night. Good night. Midnight at Mirror Lake, the Silver Thur-liner Part 2. You aren't quite sure when you drifted off, but the rhythm has changed. The heavy, climbing thrum of the engine has softened into a delicate, metallic hiss. You open your eyes just a crack. The cabin is bathed in a pale, silvery light, so bright you'd think it was dawn, but the clock on the wall says it's only 2:15 in the morning. You sit up, the cool silk of the pillowcase brushing against your cheek. You slide the window shade all the way up, and for a moment, you forget to breathe. The train has stopped. We are sitting on a high trestle bridge, suspended right over the middle of Mirror Lake. The water is so still, so impossibly black, that it looks like a sheet of obsidian. The stars aren't just in the sky anymore, they're beneath you, too, reflected in the water with such perfect clarity that the train feels like it's floating in the very center of the universe. There is no sound. No wind. Just the faint, distant tink, 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 of the engine cooling down in the mountain air. You slip on your boots and your heavy coat, stepping out into the corridor. It's empty. The yellow nightlights cast long, peaceful shadows on the carpet. You make your way to the heavy steel door at the end of the car. You know you shouldn't, but you press the handle and lean out into the night. The air hits you like a physical weight, cold, sharp, and so clean it stings your lungs. It smells of frozen pine needles and ancient stone. Up here, at 5,000 feet, the silence is heavy. It's a thick, velvety quiet that you just don't find in the world below. You look toward the front of the train. The locomotive is idling, its breath coming out in huge, white plumes of steam that drift lazily toward the moon. Beautiful, isn't it? You startle slightly. It's the porter from before. He's standing on the lower step of the next car, a thermos in his hand. He isn't looking at you, he's looking at the peaks of the Three Sisters Mountains, glowing like jagged diamonds against the velvet sky. They call this the ghost stop, he says softly, his voice barely a whisper. The tracks need to clear a bit of ice further up the line. Most folks sleep right through it. They never see the way the moon sits on the water. You look back down at the lake. A single ripple breaks the surface, maybe a fish or a falling piece of ice. And the reflected stars dance for a second before settling back into their places. You feel small. But in the best way possible. All the deadlines, the emails, the noise of the city, they don't exist up here. They can't reach this high. Get back inside, neighbor, the porter says with a wink. The heater's about to kick back on. We've got a long way to go before the sun finds us. You nod and step back into the warmth. The heavy door latches with a satisfying clack. Back in your compartment, you crawl under the duvet, which is now toasty warm from the vents. As if on cue, the train gives a tiny, soulful whistle, a long, low note that echoes off the canyon walls. Hoo-hoo. The floor beneath you begins to vibrate. The silver Thur-liner is waking up. Slowly, ever so slowly, the stars in the water begin to slide backward. We are moving again, creeping deeper into the heart of the wilderness. Your head sinks into the soft down of the pillow. The click-clack returns, faster now, a steady heartbeat that tells you everything is exactly as it should be. The mountains are watching over you. The tracks are leading you home. Let the motion of the car rock you, back, to sleep. Deep sleep. Fade out. Dawn on the high plains, the silver Thur-liner conclusion. The world is changing color. You wake up, not because of a noise, but because of the light. It isn't the harsh, yellow glare of a bedroom lamp, it's a soft, dusty rose, creeping over the edge of your wool blanket. You rub your eyes and sit up. The mountains, those jagged, dark giants from the night, have fallen behind. The silver Thur-liner has broken out onto the high plains of Montana. The view from your window is endless. Everything is covered in a layer of hoarfrost, making the world look like it's been dipped in powdered sugar. The vast, rolling hills stretch out until they touch the sky, and right there, on the horizon, a sliver of fire is starting to peek through. The sun. It's a deep, burnt orange, bleeding into a sky of violet and pale gold. There are no trees here. No fences. Just the vast, open American West, waking up in total silence. You hear a soft tap on your door. Morning, a voice calls out. It's the waitress from the dining car. Coffee's fresh. And the griddle is hot if you're hungry. You wrap the slate-colored blanket around your shoulders and make your way down the hall. Your legs feel heavy, but in a relaxed, easy way. The train is moving fast now, humming across the flatland, the steel wheels singing a higher, brighter note, hum, hum. In the dining car, the smell is incredible. Smoked bacon, maple syrup, and dark roast coffee. You sit at a table covered in a white linen cloth. A glass of orange juice sits there, glowing like a topaz in the morning light. You look out the window and see a herd of wild horses. They are running parallel to the train, their breath coming out in white clouds. For a few glorious seconds, they keep pace with the silver Thur-liner, their manes flying in the wind, before they veer off toward a frozen creek. You feel a sense of arrival. Not just at a place on a map, but a place in your mind. The clutter is gone. The static has cleared. The train begins to slow down as a small town appears in the distance. You see the steam rising from the silos of a grain elevator. You see a yellow school bus waiting at a crossing, its lights flashing, blink, blink, and a farmer in a red plaid jacket waving at the engine as it passes. You go back to your room to gather your things. You move slowly, savoring the last few minutes of the vibration under your feet. The porter appears at your door, his silver hair catching the morning sun. End of the line, traveler, he says with a warm smile. Hope the journey treated you well. You step out onto the metal stairs. The door opens, and the air that rushes in is different now. It's cold, yes, but it's full of life. It smells of wood smoke and breakfast and new possibilities. As your boots hit the gravel of the platform, you take one last look at the silver Thur-liner. It's covered in a fine layer of mountain dust and ice, a warrior of the tracks that carried you safely through the dark. You stand there for a moment, even as the other passengers go about their day. You feel tall. You feel rested. The conductor checks his watch, gives a sharp nod, and the train begins to pull away, heading further east into the light. You take a deep breath, adjust your bag, and start to walk. The journey is over, but the peace stays with you. Welcome home. The quiet platform, the silver Thur-liner's final echo. The sound of the engine is fading now. The heavy, rhythmic thrum of the silver Thur-liner is becoming a distant whisper, a ghost of a sound echoing against the brick walls of the station. You're standing on the platform, your suitcase at your side, feeling that strange sensation, the one where your body still thinks it's moving, even though your feet are on solid ground. The station is small. A little stone building with a clock tower that looks like it's been there since the frontier days. The steam from the departing train still hangs in the air, swirling like white silk in the morning light. You take a step forward. Your legs feel light, and the world feels wide. You look down at your hands. They're steady. The frantic, buzzing energy you felt back in the city, that need to rush that follows you everywhere, it's just gone. It stayed behind on those tracks, somewhere between the mountains and the high plains. An old wooden bench sits near the station entrance, its paint peeling in a way that feels honest and lived in. You decide to sit for just a moment longer. There's no rush to call a car. No rush to check your messages. A local dog, a big, friendly golden retriever, trots across the platform, his claws clicking softly on the concrete. He stops at your feet, looks up with deep, amber eyes, and lets out a long, contented sigh before resting his head on his paws. You reach down and scratch behind his ears. His fur is warm from the sun. Across the street, the town is waking up. You hear the faint clink of a porcelain cup hitting a saucer at the diner next door. You hear the low murmur of a radio playing an old country song, something about home and the open road. You look back at the tracks one last time. They stretch out, two silver ribbons vanishing into the golden horizon. You think about the porter, probably already preparing the next sleeper car. You think about the waitress, pouring another cup of coffee for a new traveler. You realize that the journey didn't just take you across the country, it brought you back to yourself. You stand up, pick up your bag, and feel the weight of it. It's lighter than you remember. As you walk toward the station exit, the sun catches a small piece of metal on the ground. You lean down and pick it up. It's a souvenir coin, the kind they used to give out on the old railway lines. On one side, it has the image of an eagle. On the other, it simply says, "Peace in the journey." You slip it into your pocket, a secret anchor to keep you grounded. You step out from under the station awning and into the full, bright warmth of the morning. The air is still, the sky is a perfect, cloudless blue, and for the first time in a very long time, you know exactly where you are. You are here. You are present. And you are ready for whatever comes next. Take a deep breath. And let it out. Fade out. Keeper of the coin, the silver Thur-liner's epilogus. The station is far behind you now. You've reached your destination, a small, cedar-shingled house at the edge of the woods. The air here is different than the plains. It's heavy with the scent of damp earth, moss, and the sweet, sharp smell of a wood-burning stove. It's late afternoon. You're sitting on the back porch in a creaky wicker chair, watching the shadows of the tall pines stretch across the yard. Your suitcase is inside, mostly unpacked, but you still haven't changed out of your traveling clothes. You aren't ready to let go of the journey just yet. You reach into your pocket and feel it, the cool, smooth weight of the coin you found at the station. You pull it out and hold it up to the fading light. Peace in the journey. The words seem to hum in your palm. You realize that the peace isn't just about the train, it's a choice you're carrying with you. Suddenly, you hear a low, familiar sound in the distance. It's a whistle. Hoo. It's the silver Thur-liner, heading back west on its return loop. Even from miles away, you can hear the faint, rhythmic heartbeat of the rails, click-clack, click-clack. You close your eyes and, for a second, you're back in that sleeper car. You can feel the vibration of the floor, the smell of the lavender sheets, and the sight of the moon reflecting off Mirror Lake. But then, a different sound. A blue jay lands on the porch railing, its feathers a brilliant, shocking blue against the gray wood. It chirps once, sharp and clear, bringing you back to the present. You realize you don't need to be on the train to feel that stillness anymore. You've learned how to breathe with the rhythm of the world. You stand up and walk to the edge of the porch. The sun is dipping below the tree line now, turning the sky into a bruised purple, like a ripe plum. A light mist is starting to rise from the ground, wrapping the trees in a soft, white blanket. You take the coin and place it on the small side table next to your chair. It'll stay there, a quiet reminder that even when the world gets loud again, even when the city calls you back, you know the way to the quiet places. Inside the house, the kettle begins to whistle, a soft, domestic echo of the train's lonesome cry. You smile, take one last look at the darkening woods, and step inside. You click the lock on the door, not to keep the world out, but to keep the peace in. The fire is crackling in the hearth. The tea is steeping. The journey has ended, but the rest is just beginning. Midnight letter, the silver Thur-liner's final legacy. The house is silent now. The fire has burned down to a pile of glowing, orange embers, casting long, flickering shadows across the wooden floor. You are tucked under a heavy quilt, the kind that feels like a warm hug from an old friend. The only sound is the soft, tap, 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 of a light rain beginning to fall against the cedar shingles of the roof. You reach over to the nightstand, and your fingers brush against a piece of stationery you found in the back of your journal. It's an old, yellowed envelope you tucked away years ago, and never opened. You slide your thumb under the seal. Inside is a letter, written in a shaky, elegant hand. It's from your grandfather, a man who spent 40 years working the very same line the silver Thur-liner travels today. The letter begins. If you are reading this, it means you've finally taken the long way home. You've seen the way the moonlight sits on the white water, and you felt the heartbeat of the steel beneath your feet. You stop breathing for a second. The air in the room feels electric, charged with a strange, beautiful connection to the past. The world will always try to tell you to go faster, the letter continues. It will tell you that the destination is all that matters. But the secret, the one the rails taught me, is that the stillness is the real engine. It's the quiet moments between the stops where we actually grow. You look over at the silver coin sitting on your table. In the dim light of the embers, it seems to glow with a soft, inner light. Don't be afraid of the dark stretches, the letter reads. That's where the stars are brightest. Keep that peace in your pocket, and no matter how loud the world gets, you'll always hear the whistle calling you back to your own center. You fold the paper carefully and tuck it back into the envelope. You feel a tear prick at the corner of your eye, not of sadness, but of a deep, profound belonging. You aren't just a traveler, you are a part of a long, silver thread that connects the mountains to the plains, and the past to the present. The rain on the roof is steadier now, a rhythmic drumming that lulls your heart into a slow, easy pace. Drip drop, drip drop. You reach out and click off the small lamp. The room is plunged into a soft, velvety darkness. But you aren't afraid. You close your eyes, and in your mind's eye, you see the silver Thur-liner crossing a bridge far, far away, its golden windows glowing like a string of lanterns in the night. You are home. You are loved. And the journey is eternal. Sleep now. Let the rain wash away the last of the day. Good night. Good night. Ghost of the tracks, the silver Thur-liner's final echo. You are deep in sleep now, or so you think. In the quietest hour of the night, when the rain has turned to a fine, silver mist, you hear it. It's not the kettle. It's not the wind. It's a low, resonant vibration, a deep hum that starts in the soles of your feet and moves up through the floorboards of your house. You open your eyes. The room is dark, save for the faint, rhythmic pulse of a light outside. Flash, flash, flash. It's the color of a winter moon. You sit up, pulling the quilt around your shoulders, and walk to the window. The woods are gone. The yard is gone. In their place, just beyond your porch, lies a set of shimmering, silver rails that weren't there when you went to bed. They glow with an inner light, cutting through the mist like a path of diamonds. And then, she appears. The silver Thur-liner, but not the one you left at the station. This version is translucent, made of starlight and memory. It glides past your house without a sound, the wheels turning in perfect, ghostly silence. As the observation car passes, you see them. The porter is there, pouring tea for a passenger who looks exactly like you. The waitress is smiling, pointing out a constellation that doesn't exist on any map. You realize, the journey never actually ends. The train doesn't just travel across the land, it travels through us. Every person who has ever sought peace on those rails has left a piece of their soul behind, and that's what keeps the engine moving. The last car, the one with the open platform, slows down right in front of your window. Standing there is a figure in a heavy, plaid jacket. He tips his cap to you, the grandfather from the letter. He doesn't say a word, but his eyes are full of 1,000 quiet sunsets. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out a silver coin just like yours, and tosses it into the air. It doesn't fall. It turns into a spark of light and joins the thousands of other stars trailing behind the train like a sparkling wake. The ghost train begins to fade. The rails dissolve back into the damp earth of your yard. The mist swallows the red light of the caboose. You stand at the window for a long time, watching the darkness return to normal. You reach out and touch the glass. It's cool, but beneath your fingers, you can still feel that tiny, lingering tremor, the heartbeat of the world. You walk back to your bed and lay down. The weight of the quilt feels lighter now. The air in the room feels infinite. You aren't just a passenger anymore. You are the keeper of the story. You are the one who remembers the rhythm when the world goes silent. Close your eyes. The tracks are still there, just beneath the surface of your dreams. Listen to the silence. It's the most beautiful song you've ever heard. Rest. The journey is safe in your heart. Silver horizon, the final farewell of the Thur-liner. It is the moment just before the sun breaks. You are standing at the very edge of the world. The woods, the house, the ghost tracks, they have all merged into a single, breathtaking point of light. You are no longer dreaming, and you are no longer awake. You are simply present. In the distance, the very last whistle of the silver Thur-liner sounds. But it doesn't sound lonely anymore. It sounds like a homecoming. Hoo. The sound stretches out, turning into the wind, turning into the rustle of the leaves, turning into the very breath in your lungs. You look down at your hand. The silver coin is gone. In its place, there is a warmth, a permanent glow right in the center of your palm. You realize you don't need the metal anymore. The piece isn't something you carry in your pocket, it's something you are. The horizon begins to burn with a final, brilliant gold. The silver rails have turned into a path of pure light, leading straight into the heart of the morning. You see the train one last time, a tiny speck of silver disappearing into the sun, merging with the infinite. It's over. The journey, the waiting, the searching, it has all led here. To this perfect, golden silence. You take a deep breath, the deepest one yet. The air is sweet. It tastes of promise. It tastes of now. You turn away from the window, away from the tracks, and walk back into the heart of your life. But you walk differently. Your step is light. Your heart is quiet. You carry the rhythm of the silver Thur-liner in every heartbeat, click-clack, a steady, hidden reminder that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. The world is waking up. The birds are starting their song. And for you, for the first time, the silence is enough. Everything is still. Everything is whole. Goodbye, silver Thur-liner. Hello, today.